Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 28th of May. So starting, quick look at the news-wise, what we've got coming out today. Prelim GDP US. Oh, actually we've got an MPC, a member of the Bank of England MPC, Monetary Policy Committee there, speaking at 11 o'clock. Watch out for that. He's due to talk about COVID-19 and monetary policy. So important at 11 o'clock there. Oh, it could create some volatility throughout with the pound. Side out 130 GDP and core durable goods. I don't expect them to be really doing too much, to be fair, or too much reaction. We've already seen the advanced GDP prelim expected to come in about 4.8, minus 4.8. So really at this stage I think it's a bit too early to be judging anything, and I think you give it another month and we'll be looking at these numbers, and if they're starting to look positive we'll see some more reactions through the currencies, but for now they're pretty much priced in. So technically then the euro dollar first, and well, yesterday it managed to push through that 200. It never managed to close above it, but it managed to get up there. It triggered the bullish pivot swing. It's sort of another higher low confirmed there, but at the moment struggling to do too much. It was looking sort of, well, it's got a double divergence across these highs here on this RSI setting. This it's just broken trend line, maybe heading back towards its daily pivot, maybe even 50. Has tested a 50 before, air kissed it, so maybe if it does roll over here, that was confirming a lower high coming through. It may look soft. Just need to give us a bit of time anyway, but does look soft from where we're looking at the moment. Okay, yep, nothing much more there. It's nothing. It's short side at the moment. Okay, the pound. Now, pound's just on this daily. It's sort of coming to sort of quite small, well, relatively small-looking days here, but don't be put off by this. If you take away the chunks there, you can see there's still quite some action coming through here. Sorry, it's just when you put this scaling in, it tends to make this look quite small. However, let's have a look. Lower high confirmed in there yesterday. Real solid sell-off through that mid afternoon sort of move there. Barely doing anything too much as we've gone through the Asian session. Would look if it starts. I mean, it's tested its daily pivot here. If it starts failing this trend line, well, perhaps we got further downside, maybe back to that 200. That's not really held up too well. And if we see any continued selling there, maybe it will roll over well, towards those lows, maybe even down to that S1 there. You've got to watch out for the support coming through the other side. That's what actually gave those, if you look at the prior highs there, gave the support to the yesterday's dip there, but that may roll over. Looking softish at the moment. That said, unlike the euro, it has just put a higher low, just sort of triggered there. So a push back up above that pivot. Well, you look at what the key moving averages are doing here. There's some of them still pushing towards the upside there. That 50, 200, 100. Okay, the 500 is still a bit bearish, but the shorter time key moving average is still sitting there looking okay. So maybe it looks a little bit more bullish, but as I said, watch out for 11 o'clock if you're trading that. Dollar yen's really not doing too much. It really is consolidated on a daily basis and sits there. I'm just going to run it down to the 60-minute here. You can just see the sort of mess it was running through yesterday until, well, it actually picked up a bit later, 9 o'clock, but it's just running into sort of this choppy sort of zone. Maybe it will pick up again through, but it is very bitty for long periods here. So, well, untouched daily pivot below may draw it back. It's looking like it's trying to put in a bit of a correction there, so that may be a bit of a move for this morning. Aussie dollar, I'd have thought we'd have seen a bit more upside on this. It struggled to break through that 200 again yesterday, where it did pip through it again, but couldn't close above it. It is one of the stronger currencies over the last month, but it's slowing. The progress is slowing down. Solid divergence there in the end yesterday, and well, it's just sold off. Let's have a look down the time frames here, down to 60-minute, and well, I've drawn a trend line across the lows here. If it starts pitching through that, well, 200 could be the next sort of target. Perhaps more downside. It's not looking great where it is. To become more bullish on it, would need to break through that 60-50 at the moment, but unfortunately looking quite soft. Okay, that's the Aussie, Canadian dollar. So Canadian dollar, the Canadian dollar's been one that's sort of holding its grip. It's sold off 2 days ago. Yesterday it sold off again, not so much, but it held its position, and it's sort of sitting around these lows. The more it sits around and consolidates, you just think, well, at some point it might roll over. Did have some divergence through there yesterday, but okay, it picked up for a while, but it's dropped back south, and at this stage, really, the US dollar looks a bit soft against the Canadian dollar. We could see a further move down towards its S1. Very messy in some respects, but does look, as I said, like we could see some further downside there. Okay, that's the CAD. Then let's have a look at oil. So oil slipped off yesterday. It's possibly heading down towards that daily 21. Might be a good point if you're looking at a buy opportunity. It's got the daily 50 curling around as well. If it was to slip a bit further, quite a correction coming through there yesterday, and well, it's at this stage running down towards those prior lows at S1. But as I said, if it pushes much beyond, it could give something there. That 4-hourly 100 sitting there at 29.81 as well, so could see a bit of support coming through. But at the moment, looking decidedly bearish as we're sitting looking at it. So short term, well, maybe a run down to the S1. So all things are looking like it's maybe got some further downside for now. And finally, the S&Ps. So S&Ps continuing their shove up yesterday. Did have quite a correction through that session, but managed to close towards certainly at the highs there, which could suggest further upside. But again, we're seeing what looks like a bit of correction. There was a bit of hidden divergence kicking around there at midday yesterday, and it sort of picked it up for a while. So midday yesterday, it was midday yesterday. Yep, picked it up for a while, but there we go. So midday is 12 o'clock bars, so it picked up later. Looks like it could be it's heading for that daily pivot here, so looking a little bit soft at the moment. Not, as I say, just seems to be running out of steam a little bit in the short term. It's not to say it won't give another surge up later, but for now it does look like it's got potential to run towards that 50 and daily pivot, which in turn could provide a bit of support, maybe even for a bounce. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. As I said, news-wise today, just watch out. 11 o'clock, we've got the MPC speaker. Now that's the only real bit of news there, because it's regarding potential adjustments, or could be talking about potential adjustments to the bank rates, etc. Quite key. Have a good day. Bye for now.